Welcome to Talk of the Town Through the Years, highlighting articles from the weekly Menomonee Falls News. Today's featured articles from January 1915 to 1965. January 29, 1915. The first automobile show ever held in Menomonee Falls will take place at the Whitland Motor Company's sales rooms on February 17 and 18. Different makes of cars the firm is agents for will be on exhibition. An interesting program of motion pictures will be shown, among which are views of the Ford plant at Detroit, showing how the Fords are turned out. Films of the Buick factory at Flint, Michigan, and of a well-known tire concern will be shown. Several comic reels will also be displayed, it being the intentions of those in charge of the show to exhibit about 7,000 feet of film each evening. An interesting program of instrumental and vocal music is being arranged. In fact, Menomonee Falls will be the scene of 2 lively days during the event. January 2nd, 1925. Every little bit helps is the old saying. The normal taxes in the village for 1924 is $34.70, as reported by the village clerk. Last year, it was $35.70, which means a drop of $1 per 1,000 valuations over 1923. January 2nd, 1925. The ice harvest is next, and where can the people of this village get a supply that is sanitary and fit for household use? Now is the time to lay by a supply for hot weather. The river ice is all right for cooling purposes, but not for family consumption. The ice cutting has been the largest in years. It seems everyone is laying in a supply of ice for the summer. Kindly telephone the Eagle Hotel if you desire ice for the coming season. No ice furnished unless contracted for. January 31st, 1935. The kids, young and old, are having much fun these days coasting down the hill on 3rd Street. With the pavement quite icy, the coasting is excellent, but is also beset with much danger. Several of the youngsters have been hurt, and it is rather a miracle that no one has been hurt seriously. Kids are daring and may not realize the risks they are taking, especially in these days of motor travel. With the pavement slippery, the motorist cannot handle his car as easily as on bare roads. Parents should continually caution their children. January 4th, 1945.
Dear PSO, I can't express in words just how thankful I am for the wonderful Christmas gifts which your organization has so thoughtfully and kindly sent me. You can feel assured that every bit was appreciated by my buddies and I. Although I am not overseas, I know how much your presents are appreciated by the boys who are far from home, and in certain places, far from civilization. I received the Menomonee Falls news and your interesting letter, Ammunition, thanking you again for the many letters and gifts I have received from the PSO during the past 3 years. I remain just another G.I. Joe who is thankful that he hails from a village where people make a soldier's life more pleasant through the great work of the PSO. Sincerely, Ardell Becker.
January 1955. Mrs. Margaret Zahn, owner and operator of the Falls Theater, announces the installation of a new wide screen at the theater in order to give her patrons the latest and best in theater entertainment. Workmen are busy preparing the stage and putting in a huge one-piece 28-foot by 14-foot screen. The present screen measures 12 feet by 15 feet. The new screen will be in place and ready for the showing of the movie White Christmas, beginning on Saturday, January 15th. January 7th, 1965. The congregation of the Calvary Baptist Church burned the mortgage on its present church building at a New Year's Eve service last week. The building, located on Hayes and Main Streets, was purchased in 1959 and was paid for 6 years before the final payment was due. The congregation plans to break ground sometime this year for a new house of worship to be erected on their newly acquired land located on Menomonee Avenue between Lloyd and Sheridan Streets. After a brief message by Pastor Williams entitled, "Let us go on and build," the congregation enjoyed refreshments in the fellowship hall. The church raised over $13,000 in the past 16 months for its Building for God program. This sacrificial giving is in addition to the regular contributions for the current expenses and the support of missionaries. The church rejoices in God's enabling power. And those are our stories for this month. Thanks for tuning in. Join us next month for Talk of the Town Through the Years on Falls Cable Access.